What's up, party people? This is Tarkus Jude Mossberg here from Facebook, Jude's Junk Facebook comic book shop page, YouTube channel, and now a website to upload all my 9.8 books that are going to be available for sale or are available. Hey, I'm getting ready to buy a big book, and I thought it was interesting content. I thought, why? Because I'm a dealer, so I buy books to turn around and sell. But the question becomes, what to buy, what's profitable. I could go off on a tangent. I just thought of something, but I'm trying to urge not to, because someone was just talking about flippers and the people that are middlemen are also collectors, and people buy and sell books. I've been collecting comic books since 1980. We bought and sold comic books back in the 80s with our friends that collected comic books. So doing it today is no different. So there was no term for flippers back then. It was the only way comic book collectors could get comic books in our small town. We could either go to the bookstore, which was a 2-hour drive away, and we were teenagers and we couldn't drive, or we could trade with our buddies or buy and sell from our buddies. So that was the only way. Nowadays, that idea of buying a book and turn around and selling to your friends is like a bad word. But I digress. There's only been the top 2 books I've ever invested in. I just been able to check off for the second most expensive book I've ever bought. And the plan is to make money. The plan is to sell it and make a profit. The first book, and most of my rules are older books, 60s, 70s, 80s, Stan Lee signed books, if it's an artist that signs it, preferably someone who is dead so they can't just sign more. I do 9.8s only, but that's just personal preference. So my first real big expensive book for making money, I bought one that was my first expensive book, but that was just for personal reasons, because the guy on the cover was named after me, Tarkus, Warlord on Mars. That's my first name, Tarkus, and I was named after. So I have the oldest and the nicest copy in the world of, I think it's 4-color, number 375, first cover appearance of Tarkus. Anyways, so I spent about 10 grand invested in a TMNT #1, first printing, double signed by Kevin and Peter, a few years back, and then got it, cracked it, pressed it, cleaned it, got the JSA signatures, turned around and sold it, and made a profit. And sweating the large investment in that book is a big investment. Whenever you buy and sell stuff, whether it's cars, diamonds, collectibles, whatever, guns, you take a chance that you might have to sit on that inventory for a while. That's usually the chance. It's usually not that I won't be able to sell it. The question is, how long until I can get my money back? Is it 1 year, 10 years? What are we talking about here? So I just bought a book, though, and it goes against everything I just did in my FOMO video, creating rules so that you don't buy things that by impulse that you don't want to buy. And I thought it was interesting that the second most expensive book kind of goes against a lot of my rules. Most of my rules are older books, 90s and older. They're all 9.8s. I like some high-end signature series books. This actually happens to be a book from like 2010, that Wolverine J. Scott Campbell variant with him signed on it. Last 2 GPA sales were a little over 10 grand. There's only 22 in the world. And it just makes you think, a blue label sells for about 5,000, and a signed copy sells for over 10,000. All right. I've done videos on, what is the value of a signed book. And a lot of people say, well, it's the cost of a signature. Well, you can get a J. Scott Campbell signature. He's still at conventions. You can probably get it for $10-20. So that $5,000 book should now be a $5,010 book. But it just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. The signed books, this is what's surprising is that his signature doubles the value of that book. Maybe it was at a convention, casually done. It turned out to be a 9.8. Maybe someone cracked a 9.8 to have him sign it, whatever. It raises the value of the book 10 grand. He's still alive. There's only 22 signed labels in the world. The question becomes, who's going to crack a $5,000 book to get it signed? Maybe someone that knows what they're doing from pressing and cleaning. Maybe someone who can look over the book and really determine whether it's still a 9/8 condition. Still, there's dangers with cracking and pressing. That's not a guarantee. You're not going to make a mistake. I crack a lot of 9/8s and send them in to get signatures. $2,000-$3,000 books. But a $5,000 book, an ASM 300. I'll do a 9.6, but an ASM 300, cracking that $3,000-$4,000 book. I just got a Star Wars 198. I really want that signed by that artist, but you get up there, man, $3,000-$4,000. That's risk, and I am a big risk taker in terms of cracking 9/8. So a lot of people say they wouldn't crack a $100 book, and I'm cracking $2,000-$3,000 books, and I get lucky in a lot. My skills have gotten better between looking through the plastics to see what the actual condition is. I have a process for cracking and grading that has improved over the years, meaning there's less chance for errors, less chance for ticks and handling, and you know, but I don't think I would crack a $5,000 book. That's a lot of money to lose, man. It comes like a 9.6 signed. It's like worth 300 or something. Actually, no, I think a 9.6 signed, I think actually sold for $5 grand. Last recorded sale on this book. But you just lost 10 grand. So what's interesting to me is I'm mailing off this check and realize this is one of the larger. It didn't feel like it at the time, because I just sold a bunch of big books, and so I had the money and I wanted to invest in there was a few I was looking at, this black lethal Venom Lethal Protector 1, the black. I wanted that, but it went too high. There was some platinum Spider-Man 1s 9/8 signed that I wanted, signed and sketched by Todd McFarlane, and that went too high. And I ended up getting this Daredevil 2010 #1 Campbell variant. Just a gorgeous cover. I like the way it looks with the yellow label. You got the artist to sign it. And I was just thinking about some of the videos I've done about what is the value of a signature, knowing that I don't normally invest in some of the modern books, except, and I never made it clear in some of those videos, the really rare modern books that have gone through the roof. They are sketchy, just like that, what was that, Ultimate Fallout #4, the Pacello Derjanko variant that, you know, was at 50,000 and now it's down to 6 or something. You know, that's really, really dangerous. But so it's a risky environment. You know, when one of these books drops, are they dropping 20% of 10,000 is losing $2 grand. That's a bite. 30%, you're losing $3 grand. That's a bite. So it goes against my rules. It's an artist that's still alive, so conceivably all the other blue labels could just be cracked, signed, and my value could drop dramatically. But how many people are actually cracking a $5,000 book to turn it into a $10,000 book? There's got to be people out there. If you know of anybody that's done that, I'd love to see a video. Maybe I should do a search. I'd love to see a video on someone cracking a $5,000+ book to get a signature. Let's say 9/8, because you could crack a $5,000 AF-15 easily, and you know you're going to be able to increase the grade just by pressing and cleaning. So that's not as risky, I would think, as you know, a 9/8 blue label, especially modern, trying to crack it to get signed by the artist to double the value. Anyways, it was a weird feeling, because I just did that video on, you know, stick with what you say, so you don't buy things that are. It is Marvel. It is one of the artists I like. It just is a newer book, and I have some newer books that recent sales have been really, really high that I can't move because there's only a few people in the world that might want these books at these prices. So, if they knew that I had it, maybe they'd want to buy it, but maybe they already have one, and it's hard to get your name out there and to get the book published. You could put it on eBay, and then they take the percentage and all your incomes, reported, and it's just your profit margin on selling on eBay goes typically down dramatically. So, anyways, when I started collecting about 5 years ago, I had a dream to eventually only get into books above 10,000. I didn't want 8,000 comic books like I have now. I'd like a short box of 50, all over 10,000, and that's all I deal with. It would be much easier on my heart if I wasn't stressing about, I got 8,000 books, books. I started getting in 9/8 books, and now they're everywhere. And I said, I'm not going to buy any more of those BCW black boxes. And I just had to buy 5 more boxes because I have no more room. And, trying to squeeze those 9/8 plastic boxes into your BCW bins that are already packed, it's becoming a chore, and I'm running out of room, and I just hit critical mass, and so I just went out and got 5 more. I was able to get a bulk of 5 for like literally $30 each. It was $150 directly from BCW, and since it's over $100, shipping was free. So, note to self that if you're looking for cheaper supplies, spend over $100, get the free shipping, and get it from BCW, and might save you some money. Anyways, now we cross our fingers that the book gets here, doesn't get lost in transit. I got insurance. The company sent it to me has got insurance, but now I'm a little nervous. I don't know how long I'm going to have to sit on this large investment. And come to think of it, I'm like, man, I kind of wish I would have gotten a TMNT 1 or something like that. That's a classic that everybody wants, Anyways, maybe I did an impulse buy. We'll find out. Happy hunting, guys.